I'm sitting here staring at Bepro price, and I've had these bottom targets for a while. Easily could bounce there, but simply staring at the chart, trying to not be biased about either what's happening in crypto with the FTX meltdown and all that stuff, you know, not including any external factors, or even the perhaps, you know, slightly more bullish external factor, external of Bepro, Bitcoin bouncing really hard at 17,000 off the origin line, which means price will not continue accelerating to the downside within the next week. It'll take a week or more to continue doing that. And those one is bullish, one's bearish. So not even thinking about that, just the structure here. It looks like it's gonna fall below there. And this is the daily chart. It's not suggesting all at once, like some meltdown down to this point. I don't like this shape. This shape is not telling me it's going to reverse from there. And that's at 0007. It's 22% down. Yeah, well, a wick below makes sense. I think I'm missing something here. I might be missing the, so like I said, I haven't looked at this chart for a while. Let me look at the Bepro versus BTC chart. This is kind of agreeing with that. So I was missing something. If Bepro breaks below this line on the BTC pairing, it's going to go below that that lower blue line, 0007. So for that to happen, Bepro, here's what's tricky about it. Looking at a BTC pairing can take months and years of like dealing with it to essentially know, like let's say you're playing chess and you need to know what are the possibilities of my opponent's next move, right? And it takes a long time to figure that shit out. I mean, hell, even playing checkers, it takes a while. Well, not quite as long, but it still takes a while. It takes like maybe 20 games to start getting the hang of checkers, but it takes hundreds to get the hang of chess, right? To understand, okay, these are all the possibilities. And so looking at it like that, making that analogy with the BTC pairing specifically, if something were to happen, the ramifications of that aren't necessarily perfectly intuitive. It takes a lot of, I guess, charting and practice and seeing things in hindsight bias over and over and over. And what I'm about ready to say applies to other coins as well, especially if they're tottering with a key point on it, their BTC pairing. So what I'm about to say is not specific to Bepro. Bepro price does not have to go down for it to break here. So what could happen is Bepro stays flat-ish as Bitcoin does some, volatility skyrocket move up to 20,500. But Bepro doesn't go down, it just stays flat and it breaks below there. And then Bitcoin goes sideways for a while. All right, let me make myself small. Then Bitcoin goes sideways for a while And Bepro price, versus US dollar hasn't gone anywhere. And then Bepro, okay, it starts going up a little bit, as Bitcoin goes sideways and calms down. But then what happens when Bitcoin turns back around? It's using this origin line as resistance. So not only will Bitcoin price going then back down make Bepro go down too, but Bepro will go down even faster versus Bitcoin than it would have, because it's now below this line and it's going to give it up. Does that make sense? So to go below this line, the price actually could stay flat or up, a little bit up. That's what is tricky to see the moves. Like, how can my opponent attack me? And it could be tricky on how it gets to that point. And when that would have an effect on the BTC pairing. And so all of that is agreeing, if that does happen, Bepro is going to fly through this, folks. If that were to happen, if. That is a hell of an origin line on the BTC pairing, and it could easily stick. I think it might actually have I think it has a damn good shot at sticking, actually. But if it breaks it, Bepro's going a lot lower than my target. I'm not saying 90% lower or anything like that, but it's going to go significantly past it. So if you are a Bepro person, you need to keep an eye. So here are my origin lines and the main horizontals. Copy it. And I give credit to this, well, even though it's an obvious one, but mixing that with this origin line, I don't think I would have kept this there had one of my team leaders, maybe a year back. It had to have been a year. No, it might have been April this year. It might have been that one or this one. But around this point, he said, hey, I think it's going to get stuck. I think we're looking at it get stuck in this triangle here and potentially break out versus Bitcoin, but it broke down from it. So right now, it's going to be battling which wins, support or resistance. And again, this is versus Bitcoin. So it has to make up its mind. It can't just keep going flat versus Bitcoin. It's going to make a move soon. And if it's down, that's going to be big for the price. So pay attention to this pairing if you're a Bepro person.